Hello, hello. I have not updated my socks. That's important stuff to do. Also, why did usually I zoom in on something interesting? There we go. People can look at this chaos while I get my socks ready. Christmas. Okay, I have not uploaded them to my Google Sheets yet, which means I have to find it elsewhere. Okay, there they are. Magic Santa, yes, these ones. So it is Santa riding a unicorn, which is interesting, a little bit unusual. Not the most Christmassy animal they could have chosen, to be honest. But you know, they're still good socks. I'm not gonna complain about good socks. Sorry for the late stream today. I had to go grocery shopping fairly last minute because I'll be watching my niece and nephew tomorrow, and I had to pick up some stuff for food. So yeah, no stream tomorrow because of that as well. But I should be good Sunday. So we'll actually be able to do space exploration. I think we've missed it the past couple weeks. So yeah, it'll be nice to get space exploration again. It's been a while. I also believe I actually uploaded to my VODs channel. I'm gonna make sure it actually worked, but I have queued up a very large amount of VODs. Wait, I have queued up 3 to 4 weeks worth of VODs, which means I'm a little under half. I'd say about like 30 to 40% of the way through my backlog. So starting in September, we'll actually see streams from this week, probably at that rate. Did it in fact go live? It is public. Awesome. Cool. Okay. But yeah, I have I mean at least my internet's a little bit better than it used to be, so it's not as awful to upload these. It's still not great. Don't get me wrong, but I can upload at like 7 times the speed I used to. But I am recording at about 1.5 times the resolution I used to. So between the two of those, I can still upload like 5 times faster. And the old VODs I can upload like, the full 7 times faster. But it's pretty nice. Basically just means I can actually not have my computer on like 24/7. Well, it was never 24/7, but basically with my old VODs channel, the way it worked is I had to spend 10 hours uploading for every 2 hours of stream, roughly. Something like that, because I recorded at 4 times my streaming resolution. And then and then when I'm not streaming, I have my upload speed throttled to half of what I stream at. So yeah, it's about 8 times. Between those is about 6 to 8 times slower. So yeah, about 6 hours per hour of stream to upload, which meant one stream took 18 hours to upload. I literally had to leave my computer on uploading for 18 hours. I mean, my computer's normally on, so it's not like it's just completely wasting electricity, but yeah, it's not efficient. It's not great. You'd like to see them on feets to see how they fit? You mean how they feats? Yeah, I don't know if I'm that kind of channel yet. Maybe one day I'll start a Patreon and it's exclusively pictures of socks, nothing else. Is Patreon what people use that for? Hmm. Isn't there like an entire? I guess I don't really know about feet if I'm being honest, but I feel like there's an entire site dedicated to it. Samya. Okay, so that is a use of Patreon. Wait, did I say Patreon? I meant to say OnlyFans. I'm pretty sure Patreon is explicitly not. I don't. Yeah, Patreon. It probably wouldn't be banned on Patreon. Yeah, that is definitely not what I meant to say though. Start up an OnlyFans and just feet, only feet. But yeah, jokes aside, these are one of my favorite socks. They're not the most comfortable. They're a little bit small. Also, let's make this not speed up. And not like height small, just a little bit short, so they sit at a very awkward length on my ankle, which I guess nobody would really know based on the picture. But I mean, you can kind of tell like they're like a weird mix between like crew socks and just like ankle socks. They're not like a full crew length, which means they don't have a ton of the design that shows. But last time we started doing fuel. Okay, so we need some of this stuff going towards our main base. So I think we need to figure out how much petroleum we have in our main base, right? Because we have not actually looked at that number yet. I think we have all of our plastic plants down. I don't want to include any refineries in this, I don't think. So let's remove the recipe from these. I just want to see what our consumption is. Although I guess I could have just not looked at the net rate. That probably would have been fine. Okay, so this should get everything. It's going to take a while to find. I really wish it had a search option. Okay, so inputs is what we're needing, right? Or outputs. I guess both work. Actually, no, I don't think outputs work because they don't actually have any outputs. Yeah, maybe we should have kept the other one in. Okay, so we are looking for... We only need 500 water, really? I guess it's just for sulfuric acid. We're consuming... We're producing 142. Okay, so this means we have a surplus, right? Yeah, cool. So we're good on sulfuric acid. We produce and consume way more sulfur than I thought. I guess that's all for sulfuric acid. We might actually... I need to check. We might not be producing enough sulfuric acid. Might be inserter limited. It doesn't count water on station. Yeah, I just meant for like inside the base. For some reason I was thinking crafted water requirements were a little bit higher, but it's literally just for sulfuric acid, right? Like I don't think there's any other water requirement outside of refineries and power. So yeah, I guess I don't know why I was expecting that number to be higher. Oh, light oil, we need 200, okay. 251 light oil. Why don't I see crude here? Oh, there we go. 1435 crude. That is a lot of crude. Actually, maybe it's not. I don't know. Water is only for power, advanced oil, and acid, nothing else. I guess technically we need a little bit for concrete, which, oh, we still need to set that up. Concrete. I'm assuming it should be fully automated. Although realistically, we can just go and do all of that stuff by hand. Well, the concrete assembler we shouldn't do by hand. But yeah, if we set up concrete pretty early, we should be good. I guess we can figure. There are places we can make the silo. We might have to bring like one thing to it, but it's doable. I want the silo to be somewhat automated just in case I forget. Because I will be on a controller, I think, by the time we have a silo built. Maybe not. It might be the very tail end. Anyway. And then we need 20 lube. Okay, so 20 lube is nothing. That seems like a lot. Yeah, I guess it's not that bad, considering we can just take from one of the smelting lanes. Like, if we build concrete here, this is somewhat close to brick, so we can probably do concrete here-ish. We can take from this water. I don't think it'll be that big of a problem. Also, there's already fuel in this belt. That's not too bad. So yeah, I think concrete here would be good. We just need to choose the right layer. Aw, man, we are in map mode. That's unfortunate. Thought I was better than that. Yeah, there's lots of space too. Although realistically, we only need like one assembler. But yeah, there's plenty of space. I guess it depends how fast we want to do it. I'm pretty sure it's only needed for that, right? Like, there isn't any other thing concrete could go for because we can't do nuclear reactors, so yeah, it should be exclusively for the rocket silo. So that's good. We at least don't need concrete. We literally only need 1,000 concrete total. It could be hand fed. I just want it to be nice and simple. But yeah, we're just gonna put the assemblers here so that way I know what's up. Because I need to remember what I was doing. Oh, right. Okay, so this is what we need for rocket fuel. Actually, wait a minute. Hold up. How are we doing rocket fuel? Okay, so rocket fuel, we are producing new solid fuel. I guess that makes sense. Because otherwise we would need... We would need to take from the... Should I do that? Is there any reason for me to produce solid fuel like... or rocket fuel like this? I want to say no, right? Well, I guess how many chemical plants is this? This is 44, so it will take up 1.5 belts from the compressor. But yeah, we can... I guess the biggest issue is spacing. There's not really a great way for us to get solid fuel on a belt here. But yeah, we can consider redesigning this. And honestly, it's simple enough. Well, I guess it's not that easy to connect this to light oil, is it? We'd need to connect it to a new light oil build. What I could do is prioritize this over this, because this can probably produce enough light oil, right? It doesn't. It does not. It's close, but it does not. Okay. So this is the space we have to work with. Obviously, there's a lot of horizontal space that we save by not having the chemical plants there. So maybe... I wish burner inserters weren't so terrible. Otherwise, we could do something like this. I guess we still can. I could do this. No, technically, this is an unsafe design. I can't believe we have 88 rocket fuel. I mean, we do need to launch rockets faster than the other one. I mean, we probably don't need to, but I want to launch rockets a little bit faster. So that way we can get our research started. Because we do have about 120% more rockets we need to launch. Something like that. So our satellite rockets, it's like 15 instead of 6. I think that's more like 150 actually. But either way, it's more. Yeah, I'm glad concrete will not be tight. Because I completely forgot about. There's probably a couple other like small things we forgot about that we only need like once. Okay, so we can't belt weave. Because the issue with this is that these will be outputting on the same side. So this would require a sushi belt. Also, this wastes a lot of rocket fuel, but that's not necessarily an issue. I mean, that's going to happen either way with the outputs, but this wastes even more. This potentially doubles the amount of rocket fuel we waste, which, again, not a problem. I think that's why we have so many. Like, I don't think we need this much rocket fuel, but because we have, like, a 100% loss for the first, like, 10 minutes, we need a little bit of extra. We don't need it. It's one of those things where it boils down to we don't strictly need it, but it's nice. We could do something like this. So if this was undergrounded, how would that look? Okay, so that would look like that. I'm gonna be honest, I was thinking belt weaving too, and then I remembered burner inserters. Oh, this almost works, doesn't it? This is so close. I mean, not actually, it's way less close than I thought. That would be cool. We need more space to do that. I guess technically, okay, if I'm being lazy, and not even lazy, we can have this much of a gap, right? between each assembling machine, so I probably could make this work. Yeah, honestly, so true. It's a very, very accurate summary. I mean, this works, right? No, it doesn't. Darn it. Why are burner inserters burnering? Why did they suck? So the issue is if we do this, isn't that we can't like fuel the input, it's that we can't have we can't have these output nicely. So it would actually need to be more like this. So this would probably tessellate like so. And then we'll just have to waste some inserters. And then solid fuel would come from here. It would split off. There's not enough space. There really isn't. Okay, this isn't good. This ain't working. Okay, so if that's not happening, what other tricks do we have with burner inserters? We could sideload into the middle. That's an option. We could snake the rocket fuel belts around. That's not a terrible option, right? So the idea now, this would be inputs or outputs, it doesn't matter. Probably inputs here, and then they could sideload onto a belt like this. It's tolerable. If we care about space, which we don't, we could stagger them to. Let's see, could offside outputs, but this would be 2 times underground for 2 vertical space. We don't really have vertical space, right? Yeah, I don't think we have vertical space to work with. Not without doing weird designs with the fuel. Oh, 2 less. 2 less is nice. Is it something like this? Or is it am I completely not in the same on the same page as you right now? Spacing wise, this is incredibly annoying, but I think we can make something work. This is going to be more entities, but I think that's okay. I like the idea of removing 44 chemical plants here. I mean, this works. Like entity wise, this is 5, 1, 1. Okay, so for 4, it's 2 entities. So it's adding 200 entities, but it is saving 44 chemical plants. Take bottom line and offside them 1 up and like 4 to the right. Oh, that's what you mean by offset. Okay. You mean like offset the whole thing. So go up 1 and then over here. What does that do? Is it like this? Is this the idea? That's probably what you mean. Yeah, I imagine this is it. An old copy from base design? Wait, did they do something like this in the actual 100%? Okay, we need to get 88. Okay. That's 32. 48. Okay. That's 96. Okay, so we can remove this 8. Okay. So this uses 88 and 88, so it's 160. Okay, so it's 80 extra. Okay, so with this design, it's somehow using more inserters, which means something is accidentally just has extra inserters. There's no way it uses more inserters. So something here just is missing an inserter. That part's fine. These are not actually functional. Change inserter with outserter to not grab from the underground. What's wrong with grabbing from the underground? If you're worried about safety of inserters, grabbing from the side of an underground isn't problematic. I'm assuming that was the concern, right? It's not. Yeah, I mean, I guess we might as well. There might be an edge case where it is. As long as there's not a competing inserter, I think it's fine. But sure, yeah, might as well not risk it. But yeah, I have not had any issues with it yet. There could be like if I imagine there might be like a perfect spacing for solid fuel where it could cause it to have issues with stack size. Anyway, so it's 44 more entities. No, it's 80 more entities, but 44 less chemical plants. So it's actually 40 more entities, and it probably saves on pipe as well. Okay, so I think this is just a... Well, okay. I'm counting it as savings, but like these chemical plants still exist. I'm just assuming that we'll be able to get them from the rest of our base. So it's not like we're saving the chemical plants. We just don't have to make them here. We can make them off to the side where they can actually contribute to our base more. That's the real idea there. Okay, so now, unfortunately, the savings here are not great. So this isn't that worth it, but I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. Okay, and then we'll take this whole thing, we'll stagger it, so that way we double up on some pipe. Okay, now we just need to make it 88, which is going to be here. Okay, let's see. Solid fuel can use only one side to not... Oh yeah, no, there's no... Don't worry. There is no shot where we are gonna make this sushi. But yeah, that's what the staggering fixes. Okay, so 130 and 70. Whoa! That pipe reduction is actually pretty big. Okay, so this is actually fewer entities. Rough, not a ton. Really, I just wanted to not have like 200 more entities. That's really the big concern there. Okay, powering it should be a breeze, right? I mean, I guess as easy as powering the other one. Actually, it might cost more power poles. Yeah, okay, so it's more power poles, but I don't think that matters. This is one of the only designs we put power poles in. Why does this not have a consistent pattern? Ah, man. I see why. Okay, so that power pole placement is garbage. That is not how I should set it up. What the heck? We put power poles in there, right? No, I guess not. But yeah, we accidentally got off with all of the pipes. Or not all of them, but some of them. It's a very inconsistent pattern. I don't know exactly what happened, but obviously there are some issues. We must have just had like one in the middle that was copied wrong. And it was like the fourth one, so we didn't notice it. Yeah, that would explain it. Okay. There we go. Much cleaner. Okay, so power pole wise, this is shorter, right? Did we end up making it shorter? Obviously, it's not gonna save any space in our base. Okay, so since it is shorter, it actually, we save power poles, I think, by going around the top and then going around the bottom. Yeah, because then we don't have to double up in between to cross the distance. And then we have one in the middle. Okay, these are going to have to double up, which is fine. Yeah, that part's fine. Okay, so 47 power poles. Can put in the middle, bottom, middle. Not double in the middle. I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean like staggering like this? I was thinking staggering at first, but I couldn't get the power poles to work. Like it doesn't double the bottom, but I mean you still have to double the middle, so I think it ends up with the same amount. It might save a couple. Yeah, it could save a couple. Oh, wait. I didn't realize. Oh, okay. Never mind. I didn't realize those could reach. Oh, but these are the ones. Okay, never mind. This is way better than I thought. I did not. I honestly didn't realize they could reach this far. That's why I didn't even try it. Okay, yes, thank you. Great catch then. Honestly, at this point, I'm just making it pretty. Okay, that probably saves. Well, I guess. Oh, does it have to do something weird like that? I guess that's not weird. This is a this is a cool diamond design. Okay, I honestly thought they would be bigger. Now I feel like I wasted a lot of time. This is fine. I don't know why I couldn't get it to work without... Like, these can clearly connect. So, like, we don't need to go around. But it's pretty. So at this point, we might as well just embrace the diamond design because it looks really cool. Oh, we were maxing out the connections of the power pole, weren't we? We don't do that very often. There we go. This looks fantastic. That's a pretty power pole design. What does that look like on the map? Oh, that looks so cool. Oh, that looks so cool. And it saves 16 power poles. Good catch. Does this matter? Yes. No. Actually, I'm going to go with yes. It very much matters. It looks awesome. Okay, inventory is full. We need to clear our blueprints. 4 connections, max is 5. Then why aren't they... Oh, you're right. It is only 4. I wonder why they weren't connecting then. Okay, so this removes this middle section, which should be fine. What is this one on the end? This was just to prime the lane. Yeah, that's useless. Okay. That's silly. Okay, we're deleting this. How? How is that even possible? I know it's because connected pipes have a different hitbox than regular ones, but still. It always catches me by surprise. Okay, so we're just going to place this there. We're not going to connect it yet. It looks like we'll need to connect transport belts there, and then we need to go on an inside, somewhere on the inside like that, and then this one needs to go on the bottom, basically. So like that. So that's actually going to take from... This is going to take from the left, this is going to take from the right. Okay, so that is perfectly balanced. So this actually works fine. And then we could probably just mirror it, right? Actually, mirroring stuff is tricky whenever things are flipped, so I need to double check. Left side, right side, okay. And this does require 2 belts. Bottom solid from top. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, you just mean like have this one come from over here. Actually, can I flip these? You mean like that? Oh wait, that doesn't work. But it can work. Okay, that's better balanced. Yeah, I guess that saves an entity. There we go. This makes it a lot easier to get 2 belts over here too. Okay, yeah, that's nicer. You put solid on rocket side? You're right. That's why we had the weird design. Okay. We weren't crazy. We didn't make a weird design just for the sake of it. We could do that. Is that worth it? I guess this is about the same amount of entities. I mean, the main thing is it works, right? The amount we can save from here is negligible. Okay, so that's taken from the left side. So this actually needs to be swapped now. But that's fine. I mean, honestly, yeah, let's just do this one. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Assuming it works. A big assumption, but as long as this works, I'm fine with it. Where do I want this part to go? I guess it can go here. Because each section is going to take a little bit under 1 yellow belt. I think each one takes like 2/3 of a yellow belt, so this split should be okay. And then we just need a filter at the end to combine these. Same over here. Rocket fuel. It doesn't really matter which one is which. Let's do this. Actually, no, let's just sideload them. They don't need to be that side balanced. Doesn't make a huge difference either way. Okay, and then if we really wanted to, this solid fuel can continue over here. Remove additional pies on left part. Pipes. It's like, what does this mean in Factorio speak? The pigeons arrived. Yes. I hate how that idea is still technically. I think it turned out that it's technically faster, right? I mean, it's not practical, but I'm pretty sure it would be a faster way to upload. 600 to 700 miles a day. Okay, so it's not faster, but it's pretty. It's very similar speeds. My friend jokes with me all the time that I should just go to his house every time I need to download a game, even though he lives like 45 minutes away, and it's accurate. Also, look at this power pole design. It's really cool. I love it. The perfect diamond is really, really nice. I've never had a power pole. I don't think I've ever had power poles look good before, and it's ironic that it's for a burner base. I know, right? We just saved like 40 tiles on left. But yeah, I basically realized that for rocket fuel, we are producing local solid fuel, but there's really no reason for me to be producing local solid fuel here when we have a giant compressor of like 4 belts of solid fuel to the right. So we just kind of went and removed it. Now technically this does save entities, but on the other hand, we get those entities back when we, have them in the compressor. So I don't think it really saves much, but it saves 50 chemical plants idling when they don't need to be. You like the contrast between this perfect diamond and whatever is on the right? Oh, you mean this thing? Oh, you mean this thing? I mean, at least they're triangles. That's something, right? But yeah, this thing on the right is me using the magic power poles. Do be aware that pigeons only travel between 6 points, so you need to get a pigeon with another home in Europe for it to work. Mm. That is a good point. We need like a series of pigeons probably. We'll need to like recreate the entire carrier pigeon network, which is a bit of an ask, honestly. Also, I feel like the red belt's more expensive than the yellow belt, so why don't I just move this over? I like how I care about the red belt cost, like that somehow matters this late in the run. Okay, so this is the tricky part. Doing the entire compressor. I'm terrified of it. A decent pigeon cannon. Yeah, that seems a little bit on the cruel side though. That's the only downside with it. The fact that I could get arrested for animal cruelty for trying to upload a VOD. That doesn't seem worth it. Seems high risk. Okay. So, let's assume we'll be getting more solid fuel. I think that's a fair assumption, right? We've made this assumption before. Okay, so this part's annoying. I think I think I'll just separate the two. Balance. Yeah, that's fair. I guess we could say balance. Okay, how do I want to do this? This gives me 2 belts of fuel, right? Oh no, sorry, this gives me 4 belts of solid fuel. However, it only gets me 4 belts of solid fuel and nothing else. So, do I want to use this petroleum for something else? How much petroleum does this make? Okay, so that's 374. Is basic oil processing something I should be using past like the first 10? Probably not, right? Because of how inefficient it is. Okay, so we need to set up cracking over here, and we need... Actually, what's the ratio for cracking? If you crack everything, does anybody know what the ratio is? Advanced oil processing. Outputs. Everything cracked. Is there an answer somewhere? cracked. I'm looking on like the wiki to see if it has results if everything's cracked without modules, but I don't see much. Oh, there we go. Petroleum outputs with modules? None. Okay. Heavy oil cracking. No, that just gives me ratios. Yeah, you feel like squishy insides of a pigeon might do well inside a cannon. Just a feeling. Yeah, I think with his idea, I'm pretty sure we're basically just launching the SSD and a slightly under the weather pigeon across the ocean. I don't know if the pigeon really does much at that point, so it's probably not a very moral option. I really need to filter my inventory. Okay, so lube isn't a problem. This cracks 30 to 20. Okay, so that's 30 to 20, that's 30. Okay. And then heavy oil cracks 40 to 30. So what does that divide that? Like 18-ish. And then 12, so we can say 12 plus 30. That's 42 plus 55, about 97, almost 100. Okay, so we get almost 100 petroleum gas from this. So that means we need 15 of this entire thing. Wow, is it really that slow? Wow. I guess I've never had to make like 12 belts of plastic. Rate calc, it says what there's a surplus of, but that's, you have to make the perfect ratio of cracking for it to give you a decent estimate. So it's not a great estimate because it assumes that you're able to run cracking a lot better than you can. I don't know exactly what it is about it, but yeah, it assumes you can run everything fully. So when you include cracking, you have to get the exact ratio anyway, so it's honestly better to just... I care more about just the end number here. So yeah, let's assume 5 is 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 500. Is this right? Does the 100% base really use this many oil refineries going into plastic? There's no way, right? There's no way. Because we probably don't use more plastic. You know what? Let's take a gander at their base, because I'm curious now. I mean, it's not like that's a lot of oil refineries. That's only 70. That's equivalent to all the oil refiners we have going into solid fuel. I'm just surprised that the number is as high as it is. Okay, well, they have these. This is all their basic. About 12 basic, and then they have 9 to start with advanced. Okay, that's not too bad. And then they have this. Okay, so that's 24. That's 30. Okay. This is already, that's basically 70. Okay, so that tracks. And then they have more over here. Okay, so it's starting to make more sense now. They're at about like 80. This makes it a little bit higher, about 100. And if we miss some, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure we weren't completely off. Now, obviously, a lot of these are going into fuel, but then this here is going exclusively plastic. Okay, so their red chips is like 48 refineries. It might have spaghetti from different parts. Yeah, that's why I was just like looking at all of them throughout the base just to get a general idea. But it looks like they have about 150 advanced oil refineries. And then it looks like a lot of them do go into solid fuel for feeding probably early power and furnaces and stuff like that. But it's at least tells us that we are not completely off in our calculations. 75 advanced oil refineries is reasonable. It doesn't sound reasonable, but it somehow is. Yeah, it does. I've never needed a lot of plastic before. I guess in any percent, you do use like 36 basic oil refineries, which is equivalent to like 75 advanced. No, it's not. It's equivalent to 18 advanced. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of plastic. You hate when the bottom bar crashes in Windows? Wait, what do you mean? Like the taskbar that crashes for you? Okay, so because we need that much, something tells me we don't want to produce it all here. We'll probably do more advanced oil up here, because this is pretty close to plastic. You know, I could change how I do this entirely and not have any petroleum here. Should I just be using these? Should I just be using these for plastic? They only use basic refining in the first 10 refineries built by hand. Yeah. I think it might have been 12, but yeah, it's only for the starter ones. I was comparing it to like any percent. When you don't have blueprints, you use basic, and you use like 36 to like 40 of them. We could say they use 7 water lines for refineries. I imagine a lot of that is more convenience, or just like location than anything. Just because of how spread out they are. I don't think these use that much. I guess it does. I guess each one uses like a quarter of a pipe-ish. Explorer stopped working. Let's see. It's amazing that it still happens. Oh, Explorer does crash for me sometimes. I've never had the taskbar crash. I have had the Windows sound settings crash though. That's fun, where I'm not able to change what I'm listening to. Okay, so how much petroleum does this produce? That's the real question now. So this produces 200. So this, and this. That's 1,000 petroleum right here. And I only sacrifice 30%. I don't know. These are already the perfect ratio. This happens too late anyway. What's the latest one I could use? Okay, so the latest one I could use is this one. Okay, so that means I can get 600 crude. That's a little bit less promising. But yeah, we could set this up. Let's see. How is this connected? Okay, so this connects through here. That is actually like the worst spot that could be connected for this. There isn't space for a pump anywhere except like halfway through the line. That's so annoying. I'm trying to think of how we can set up a tank here. I guess we could go around, set up a pump here, and then send it back. Yeah, we can make it work. Hmm. Is this worth it? Should I have any logic with crude at all, or should I just do 70 more refineries? Should I just do refineries here and here and just call it good? There's space for a tank on the left. Yeah, well, the tank isn't the problem. The issue is that the only place that we can put a pump is here, where the connection is. So we would have to redo where petroleum connects. I guess we could probably connect it somewhere in the middle. So we could have the pump here. That could work. I don't think it changes the prio. It does need a red belt, I think, to make it work, but what would this do? Okay, so the ratio for filling stuff, I mean, it's still going to leave 40 refineries. Like, This isn't that bad. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. I don't like this idea. Because we don't have any way to crack the leftover light oil. I guess that's silly. We can set up cracking next to each of these two. Yeah, never mind. That's a silly thing. We can set up a cracking station with all the like leftover light oil, right? So like if we put a tank here and a tank here, we don't need a tank for heavy oil. I don't think. Yeah, because that gets immediately cracked. Okay, so wouldn't need a tank for heavy oil. We need one for petroleum and one for light oil. And then extra light oil we would send to cracking. The issue is we don't have cracking for light oil set up. Does anybody know the ratios? Oh, wait, I have this pulled up. Oh. Oh, I see. I see. That's a lot. That's a lot of chemical plants for cracking. I don't like that. I guess that's assuming none of them run. We could probably... I was going to say we can probably assume they're not running all the time, but I don't think we can make that assumption. We need to at least have enough chemical plants to crack everything all the time. Ugh, okay. The easiest thing to do is to make new chemical plants and refineries. Is that lazy of me? It's obviously lazy of me, but we haven't designed these around not only producing solid fuel. Why? Why what? You mostly care about solid fuel? Well, the thing is, our solid fuel production after we care about plastic way longer than we care about solid fuel. So the reason this matters is because we'll be using about 800 to 1,000. We'll probably be using about 1,000 petroleum until the very end, until like 2 to 3 hours before we're done, because still be producing. We'll still be producing. I can't think of the word. Modules. We'll still be producing modules until like 3 hours before we're finished. However, light oil, we stop using this much solid fuel roughly 3 to 4 hours before that. So there's like a 3 hour window where we won't be consuming a ton of solid fuel, but we still need all of the crude we can get out of it. We could set up cracking later. That's an option. But yeah, basically this solid fuel that we have is incredibly overproduced once the belts fill up. We just have to have this many to make sure the belts fill up within like 1 to 2 hours later. For late game, we could beacon the cracking. That's true. We could... Oh, we haven't set up beacons. Yeah, we could do beacons. We could do speed modules and the cracking. There's options. So what we really just need to do is make sure this has the ability to be cracked later, right? How much does this produce? That's the real question. Okay, so theoretically, we could have all of these connect to one pipe on the edge that goes into one cracking section, right? I don't think we'll run into pipe issues. It's about 1,000 light oil, assuming absolutely no solid fuel is consumed. So yeah, we could probably do a light oil connection through the side. It is unfortunately, this would be such a perfect spot. Actually, wait, it is a perfect spot regardless, right? I think we can make it work. No, there's not quite enough space. But yeah, we could do somewhere here. We could also do it up here. I guess I could just do it on the side, right? Also, this is prioritized. Actually, that's not a good thing, is it? No, it should be okay. Yeah, I imagine it'll be fine. We're not emptying it unless it gets to like 10k. Okay, I mean, this works. And then how do we do cracking from this? Or not cracking. How do we do the petroleum output from this? Petroleum output. I guess we could just unload from this tank, right? It's like that. I think that works just fine. I have no idea how we're going to connect all of these. It might be better for me to do light oil and petroleum through this side section because I don't really see. I don't see a world where we have a pipe going through here. Actually, you know what? Let's do. Okay, we know what needs to be done. Let's do the entire compressor, and then we'll move on from there. Because I think it's not that hard to route pipes. It really isn't. Especially when it's the only pipe there. There's nothing I can run into that will cause issues. Okay, so we're actually going to delete this. Force delete. Gotta delete this. We don't need that. I think the idea here is sound. The idea here with solid fuel also sound. Let's see. Tonight is going to be fun. Incoming storm with really strong winds. This is like the only week where our weather is actually decent. I'm sorry that you get rough storms tonight, though. Those are not great. Especially winds. Winds are so destructive. So just like 3 nights per week for you in the summer. Yeah, we definitely have some rough winds in the summers. We've had a lot this year, actually. We've had like 3 separate instances where like trees were torn down around our house, which is always a little scary when they're that violent. Okay. I don't know why I copied that. Okay, so that can go here, this can go around. That should be fine. Okay, this will split off way earlier. There we go. That makes way more sense. Okay, so this goes here. I think that's fine. As long as bots build this early. Which they should. I don't think it'll be a problem. Okay. And then this connects here with light oil. This connects here. Okay, cool. And then these will be easy smart belting all the way through. Bots will build this before, so smart belt will go right over that. Unless for some reason I'm really, really fast, but that's not gonna happen. And if I am, this is a very easy thing to build by hand. So yeah, we should be good. Okay. And then this will curve up here. And then the rest of them will be here. Yeah, okay. Perfect. Yeah, hopefully I never have to fit anything through here because that ain't happening. Okay, so that seems fine. Now we have not done light oil for solid or for rocket fuel yet. We don't need a ton though, right? We need 22 light oil per second. Why is it so small? Oh, because like 90%. Oh, also that's. I feel like that's a soul crushing thing to say. Now that, in retrospect, those are cruel words to be spoken. Anyway. Here we go. Yeah, 22 light oil is nothing. Okay, so we want to prioritize it, right? Will a pump prioritize it? Is it that straightforward? Oh, that's a weird way to do it, but does this conceptually work? Oh wait, where were we gonna put the... You know, where were we gonna put the petroleum? Here. Okay, that's fine. I think technically we're blocking, but we can build around it. Not so long ago, you were forgotten by World Village, got recognized in a whole country. Wait. Not so long ago, due to it. Oh, you're forgotten by World Village, got recognized by the whole country. Okay, I get it. Because the storms are so bad. Okay, yeah, that sounds... Ours are definitely not that bad then. That's definitely some brutal weather. Is that just strong winds? Yeah, I guess wind alone is pretty powerful. Okay, so I guess the issue with this is that... How much rocket fuel can this produce with one tank? Because the issue with this is if it becomes imbalanced... Oh, I was dropping a lot of frames. For, I don't know, like 30 seconds. It wasn't that long. I guess. Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought. I just saw some orange. Anyway, this can produce 2,500 rocket fuel. So this can back up 3 rocket launches. That's not too bad. Because I'm just trying to think what happens if we don't consume enough solid fuel. I don't want our rocket fuel production to like completely drop. I could, you know what I can do? I could prioritize this lane over the compressor. That'll make it that this one's always consumed. Let's leave a note. So this one we actually want to prioritize not the compressor, which is a little bit of a weird design. I guess as long as we're consuming whatever this produces. I don't actually know what this produces. Wait, what is this? This doesn't connect to my base. Hold up. What is this? What is this? Why is this here? Oh. I see. Okay. Not inherently a problem, but it looks like we shifted it and we completely forgot we shifted it. What's the best course of action here? We obviously have to reconnect all of these belts. Oh, that is not something I thought I would have to do. Yeah, that's what happens when you forget about coal. Maybe I should have just built coal up here, then we wouldn't have had this problem. Oh well. Things happen. See, and this is late enough for rocket fuel, right? Yeah, okay. Lightning stroke, power outage. Oven in on building got on fire. Rest of building, 100 people to evacuate at midnight. Okay, yeah, that's definitely newsworthy. I could see how that isn't good. Yeah, lightning strikes actually, I worry about those. I don't think we don't see fires from them very often, but I do worry about it. And like just electrical outages in general, we get those a lot. This is annoying. Okay, so this goes up. And 2 go down. Okay. I see the vision. I don't like the vision, but I see it. Okay, so first things first, we reverse all of these belts. Okay. Wait. Okay, this part's easy. Okay, this one's easy. Okay, that one's good. Okay, cool. We got 1 copper lane. Shift hold station a bit lower to save on belts. I wasn't sure if I was going to put anything here, so I wasn't that concerned about belt savings. Because I'm not entirely sure if this is the coal design. So like worst case scenario here, we waste like 10 belts. I don't think losing any flexibility if I change my mind about this station is worth saving such a small amount of belt, right? Like, it would save belt, but it's a fairly insignificant amount at this point, so not too worried. Okay. And then this is the new solid fuel connection, okay. This doesn't do anything. Oh, this is the one we changed, right? That's why it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so this one can keep going through here. Okay. And then this is the new one that can connect through here, I think. Yes. Okay. Actually, this goes down only to send it back up. So we can actually make this connection a lot earlier and a lot cheaper. Okay, so we need to flip this belt. We actually want this to be here. Okay. And then this is the other copper. Okay, is that right? That gets a full belt. That gets split. Okay, so this is one of those we don't actually have enough copper. Okay, this is one of those ones where it's not actually running full speed. I see why the numbers are so weird then. Okay. That definitely saves a lot of belt. Because I realized we were sending the belt down only to send it right back up, which was a little bit of a weird design. Okay. Oh, I don't like that. I probably shouldn't have belt weaved there. I mean, we're pretty good now about not changing any belt weaving, but still, it's risky. Okay, so this one goes over, this one goes over. So the only one we're missing now is this new copper that we just connected, which is here. Okay, that's reasonable. I think there are things we could have done better, but we were just kind of connecting things in ways that somewhat made sense. So it's fine. Shifting the station, yeah, we probably could have saved a little belt here and there, but honestly, it's not too bad. This stuff actually moved way less than I thought it is. This belt also doesn't back up a bit. What do you mean? Yeah, I guess this one... We have a lot of things here that use like 2/3 of a belt. Which is probably why it splits so weirdly. Where is this one going? This one's going down here. Okay, I guess it's fine. Yeah, we just have a lot of sections that use like 80% of a belt. Due to like inserter limits or assembly machine limits. This one actually doesn't back up that much. This one might struggle. This section in particular, I think, is going to struggle to run. So I feel like we're actually only going to have, let's see, about 80 effective blue assemblers, which is not too bad. Like, obviously I want them all to run, but I'm fine with them running at, like, whatever speed that is, 80%, whatever that amounts to. Yeah. we can survive with 80% blue chip production. There are things we can do in the run itself if we realize it's a problem. Like we can connect a manual copper belt somewhere. It won't be pretty, but we can just sideload copper into the spot that's, you know, running low on copper, which would be right here. Oh wait, we've already accounted for that. Never mind, we're good. Oh, that's what this belt is. I remember. Okay. Look at that. We've already done that. We've already accounted for the fact that we're not actually able to run this full speed. Cool. I'm glad I had the foresight for that. Makes me feel better. Now, this is still incredibly messy because this needs to go over here. But you know, it's a start. Okay. Let's give it another one. And then now we can hopefully copy it a few times. I'm trying to like work backwards so I can't use smart belt. I think I wasted way more time than I should have there. But that's okay. Things happen. Okay, and then this is within reach. Okay, so this is actually outside of Roboport range. So I think I do want this to go a little bit farther over. I want this to be at the very edge of Roboport range, actually. Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, that's why the numbers here weren't really adding up. I was trying to figure out how we're gonna run these when we have 4 being consumed completely perfectly and actually a little bit over 4, but yeah, that would do it. That would do it. Okay, so that will eventually make it up there, right? Yeah, this also is going to have an incredibly long belt delay. We will be doing entity savings here. We can genuinely save like 300 entities. I don't know why I didn't do it just then. It would have been incredibly easy. We'll just pretend we didn't cut the corner then. Okay. Look at that. Very, very easy saving. This line feels so wrong. Yep. But basically, it boiled down to we needed 1 belt of resources, but we didn't need it until later. So this seemed like the best solution, despite how much I do hate it. It's not, I don't think it's bad. Because it was either this or you connect an entire other mine, right? So those were the 2 options. And obviously 1 belt that takes 10 minutes to build, or takes 10 minutes for resources to travel, is way cheaper than an entire mine, even though it feels terrible. But like, it works so well. Because I think it had to do with timing more than anything. Like, we needed this, but we don't get it immediately. That's what it is. We don't have mining productivity yet. So we don't have this 4th lane for another half an hour, which is why we connected it up here. Because this is when we'll start getting mining productivity 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, the last 3 tiers, which will give us an entire extra lane out of our original patch. Now, we technically, if we get a good copper patch, we can get 5 right away, but that requires a really good patch. So it was one of those things where it's like a little bit tricky. We have to get really lucky, or we can just use 100 extra undergrounds. Yeah, we can just use like 100, 140 extra undergrounds, and then we don't have to have any luck. Oh, I'm dropping a lot of frames. Cool. Did I leave Steam open? Maybe. Is it like, I mean, it says it's dropping frames. Is the stream just like completely stopped right now? Because I can't really tell. Like, it's telling me it's dropping every frame, but it's also telling me I have the full the full bit rate I need, so it's really weird. It's not giving me anything useful. Stream just like completely stopped right now. No, it doesn't. I mean, I can hear myself if I watch my own stream. Like, it's telling me it's okay, so I'll just pretend everything's okay. And maybe it's just dropping visuals. That's not too bad. Okay. We built this in the wrong stage. Wait, what is this? No, you're not. How did that happen? Okay, that's weird. Okay, these are all way too early in the stage. Okay, so these are supposed to be here. We still have not gotten used to this. Okay, so basically the idea here is that we build this as these are built. So that way the belt delay isn't massive. And then also we don't waste the belt and entities early. Okay, now we get to this stage where it's actually needed. And I don't know. I have no idea how these are all built wrong. I don't understand. We deleted stuff on a layer and it didn't actually change anything, which is terrifying. I worry for what actually is still broken now. Okay, that wasn't right. I'm trying to like guess which ones are the belt I'm trying to connect. Okay, there we go. Comes from all the way around. Takes a while, but that's okay. Gosh, the belt delay for this is gonna be insane. Also, there's a couple flipped belts. Excellent. Which I guess I kind of anticipated with how I was building it. Definitely easy to flip belts. Okay. And then let's see, that's good. And then last one. Yeah, that's the last crossing. Okay, so most of the belts should be good now. Okay, what were we have not even started on the compressor. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. It has finally leveled out. Finally. Well, I say that. But it's dropping them again. Is there anything I'm doing? What does my internet say? Let's see. It says I'm sending 6 Mbps. So I'm not sending anything additionally over what OBS is trying to take. Oh well, I'm just gonna hope it levels out. It's been pretty solid recently. But this has dropped every about 50% of frames for the past, I don't know, 10 minutes? 5 minutes? 5 minutes. Maybe it won't work out. We have like, oh gosh, it's pretty much like the last week to decide before we cancel our other internet. Like right now we have 2 internet, although one of them we haven't been using much because we've been trying out the new one. And it's not like a great solution, but I think on average it is better than the old internet. But on the other hand, it has outages like these significantly more frequently where it's just completely unusable as opposed to slightly unusable all the time. So I'm not sure which is better. It's hard to say. Once I see the viewer stats, that helps a little bit to see if like I have a drop of like 80% viewers because my internet completely shut off. Because it's hard to tell if things like are fully dropped or just partially. But on the other hand, I can stream at 1080p now, which is nice. Um, Still, it's Factorio, so it's always going to struggle with fast moving. I mean, anybody. With Twitch's bitrate limit, that's always going to happen. I feel like I should flip these. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, we are building on the wrong layer. Okay. I'm just going to move all of these to this stage. That should be fine. Perfect. Okay. Oh, it's green. It's a stable green again. Yay. Welcome back. Hopefully. I don't know what I just did. This is a copper connection, but it's not needed until later. Okay. So coal is here. Now this uses half a belt, this uses a whole belt. So theoretically we should send 2 belts of coal down there. And by coal I mean solid fuel. I kind of just use them interchangeably. Compress to the left, and by compress I just mean send to the left. I guess it's objectively not a compressor, but that's fine. I mean, it will be a compressor, it's not one yet. Okay, so this could actually use 2 belts of coal. I think that would be worth it. Yeah, this seems worth it. Okay, and then this can go through one entity here. And then if we can get another belt, that would be fantastic. It would be over here probably. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This should help a lot with startup time. I don't know if it matters that much here, but it's definitely worth it. It doesn't cost that many more entities. Like, it's a grand total of, what, 10 more entities to try to connect these, to be able to use 2 full belts. Oh, never mind. Never mind, this is useless. I thought this used a whole belt, but it gets sideloaded at the top. Okay, yep. We'll just take the easy route then. This has no benefit. Cool. I mean, it does simplify things. Okay, that goes here. This goes here. And voila. I do not know what this is. Oh, that's a solid fuel, but a different layer. Okay, so we still have to connect some solid fuel here. Okay, so that's going to get a new fresh belt. So basically everything is going to get its own dedicated belt. It's 1 hole? What's 1 hole? Did I mess something up? Oof. That can't go there. This might be able to go there. I don't know what this is. Okay, that's just a regular belt. There we go. There we go. That looks good. Okay. Perfect. Might as well save entities here. Cool. Okay, so I think that's everything we need fuel for on this layer. Wait. Where does... Oh, this gets fuel from the original compressor. Okay, so this is still using coal, actually. I saw it. You're just like... Okay. Yeah, it's hard. It's always hard to tell with stream delay. Also, I make a lot of mistakes, so I usually assume that I did make... I usually just assume I made a new one, because it's... pretty good chance. It's a very reasonable assumption. Okay, prio to the left. Awesome. Okay, so I want to actually shift all of these, but I don't think I can shift it yet because of that belt. Yeah, this is... I don't know if this is better or worse. We're doing the compressor after doing all the copper connections this time, which is like the opposite of how we did it in the other one. Which I think is going to make things annoying, but maybe it makes them better. It's hard to say. Okay, what if I just shift them over one? Maybe that's the strat. So here? Actually, let's do it earlier. Okay, we can always shift as needed. And then this one goes up, delete it, delete it. Okay, that looks pretty clean. Yeah, okay. This looks all right. Now we need to compress solid fuel there. That would go 1, 2, 3. That is unfortunate. We actually would need to compress it after then. Okay, we can save that entity and we can save a lot of entities here. Okay, I mean, if we have to backtrack, it's not the end of the world. I don't think I'm going to stress too much about avoiding stuff like that. Obviously, I don't want to backtrack, but it's such a small cost at the end of the day, at least at this point in the run. Okay, and now the compressor should be a lot easier to set up. Awesome, and then this looks like it has a nice entity savings as well, and then we can just do a whole other compressor here. Okay, that one we can actually keep. Okay, and then it looks like we have a lot of entity savings in between here for this basically this whole stretch. Why is that pattern weird? Oh, because there would be another. Okay, because there would be a splitter here. I was wondering why these were full stretches and this one was full stretches plus 1, but yeah, it's because the stacker stops. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so those are good. We are not producing any solid fuel to test this. We need to figure out what's going on here. Oh, we haven't given this infinity water. That makes sense. Okay, that should be the only issue, right? Huh. Okay, yeah, it just took a while to fill the whole thing. I was like, these should be connected through each other. But yeah, I don't know how we're missing infinity water. But we somehow were. But it's good now. Oh, because we got infinity water from the inside last time. This one probably will actually come from the bottom, though. But that doesn't matter. The water connection is not super important. We're probably going to have a lot of like small wasted undergrounds throughout our base. I'm not too concerned with them, but stuff like that is going to waste a little bit. Okay, so now we can see how it starts. Okay. It takes a couple outputs, I think, before it starts saturating the belt, right? Yeah. And now we can see the compressor is working pretty decently. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then we're carrying the resources through. Awesome. I have no idea what this is. That is the copper belt. Okay. Let's do a compressor right after this then. Yeah, that looks all right. Because now we can just do undergrounds all the way through. All the way through, and all the way through. Okay, so now the fun part. Now we have to, okay, we have a little bit more to do before we get to the fun part. Awesome. I'm perfectly fine with that. We have one more stretch. And then it's the fun part. And by fun part, I mean the point where we have to start sideloading new fuel in, which is I guess it's not that tricky. It's just trickier. Okay, get rid of that. Underground, underground. Okay. Cool. So steady state consumption, not production. Steady state consumption here is a little bit high, or a little bit on the low side. Oh, Oh, we have like this entire section to entity save. Hold on, let's do that real quick. While I'm thinking about it. So that would be underground, underground. This should work. This is usually the pattern I use. Okay. And then we can keep the same pattern here, but staggered one. Okay. So now this should be something we can copy. Perfect. And then here we go. And there we go. Okay, now we just copy the top part of it. Cool. Good, good, good. That is a fair amount of entities. Not a ton, but you know what they say, free is free. We will not do the inside yet because that's a little bit trickier to do, and I'm not sure exactly what I care more about. Because there's a couple different ways you can do the steel. One of them saves a lot of entities, or one of them saves one more entity, but it is a little bit more expensive because it uses more undergrounds. So I'm not sure. Not sure which is better yet. But at least this outer ring is very easy to set up, and it looks like it's nice and symmetrical too, so we can just copy it from the original one. Make sure it's still working. This is sending the remaining fuel on the inside. Awesome. Okay, this one, this is not mirrorable. That I know for sure. We cannot mirror this one, so we're just gonna... Let's see, how do we do this? Well, we don't have anything we can copy yet, so right now there's nothing we have to do. Okay, and then I think we're pretty much reaching the spot where this stops working, right? Yeah. And now we just have to copy the outer layer. Okay, so that wasn't nearly as painful as I thought it would be. And now it's a straight line. Okay, that's reasonable. That saved like 100 entities probably with a bunch of full drags, so I'm content. Do I have an important message? Okay. No, I do not. Okay, back to the compressor. That's a hit movie, right? Back to the compressor, where they go back in time to stop fuel compressors from being made, save the environment. That's a plot. I don't think it would be a very interesting movie, but it's a plot that could be thought up. I think I need to dream bigger. I think this looks better if I place this here. Yeah, it just looks a little nicer. Good night. Yeah, I did start stream a little bit late. Have a good one. Yeah, I'll probably be wrapping up in like 10-20 minutes anyway. But yeah, good old shopping for the nephews. Well, I mean, I guess technically I'm just grabbing food, but shopping because my nephews were visiting. Delayed the stream a little bit, which means most of my viewers are probably already like uh 2 hours closer to bedtime. Yeah, I definitely don't like streaming this late, but sometimes can't help it. On the bright side, I picked up stuff for curry and for, I think it's called chicken I want to say souvlaki. Yeah, which is you eat it very similarly to like gyros, but I think those are normally lamb and also like cooked on a skewer. So it is that's an important part of. Normally I don't care about distinctions, but I feel like that part right there, two very important definitions for what a gyro is. But here we just kind of think of a gyro as like the folded sandwich thingy, the folded pita sandwich. But obviously, our Midwestern idea of a gyro is not. I don't think what we should use as the definition of it. Okay, I need to look at how we set this up on the other side because I do not remember. I think I remember us. Okay, so every time we got to a new lane, we decided we probably had enough fuel, and we dropped one of them, right? Yeah. Okay, so we decided we compressed them into three, and then what? I'm not sure. We compress them into three, and then we sideload this stuff later, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's starting to make sense again. I'm starting to remember how we did this. Okay, and then we get two more lanes out of this. Awesome. And then we briefly have a moment where we're compressing with five. Okay, it all makes sense now. Okay, so that goes there. Wait a minute. Can we send this straight into the compressor? We might be able to send this straight into the compressor. Okay, I think we need to shift it over. This doesn't look right. No, this definitely isn't right. Is this why we split it? This might be why we split it. Yeah, okay, I get it now. So this needs to go over one more. Or this can go up one more. One of those two. So this goes here. This goes through, and then the others connect through the middle. So let's just do... Let's do this. Yeah. That's all right. It's a little bit funky. It's a little bit on the funky side. I will admit that. But it works. Because we do have a temporary section where we need to be able to compress 5 resources out of this, which just makes it that the pattern's gotta be wonky. Okay, so this isn't actually producing for some reason. I think this stage is disabled though. I don't think that means things are broken. It just means the stage is disabled, which makes it look like everything's broken. Okay. So we have this, which is... Oh, this is just me compressing stuff. Okay, so we can delete that entirely. I feel like we missed a fuel connection, because we haven't done one in a while. Okay, that's because we haven't needed one. That makes sense. Okay, well, we already have the compressor. We might as well use this section. No point in doing it later. Well, I guess we could do this compressor later. I think saves like 4 entities. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm really trying to get better about not trying to save 4 entities, you know? It's not... It's... If I do it too much, it's going to greatly increase the time before we do the run. And it's going to not decrease the time of the run, like, measurably at all. Like, you know, saving 100 entities, that's big. Saving 4 entities, no. And I mean, technically, there's the argument that if I save 100 entities 100 times, you know, then it's like 10,000 entities. Wait, is that? Yeah, 10,000 entities. But that's that only is like that's more of like a meme than an actual thing you can do. Because obviously, we can't just magically save that many entities. Okay. That's good. And then this one actually needs a double compressor. I mean, there's a chance. Honestly, there probably is close to 10,000 entities we could save total. I would not be surprised. Can I shift this up? This looks like I can almost shift it up one entire underbelt. You know what? No, I was literally just talking about this. Let's not worry about it. Okay, and then copy this because mostly it just looks cool. I really like the staggered look, even if I don't think it's necessarily like better, but it's really cool looking. Okay, and then we can try to fit a compressor here. And then this one looks like we need a full belt and another full belt. Okay, so this is another double compressor. The double compressor could go here with, ooh, perfect amount of it, perfect spacing actually. We might be able to move it one down, but either way, it's great. Saving 1% is saving 1%. The discrete value of the 1% doesn't matter. Well, yeah, I just meant like saving 1%. Like it is saving 1% at the end of the day, but also at the end of the day, it would probably add like an entire week or two if I keep stressing over those 1%, which is why I think we should try. I'm trying to get better about not worrying about the 1% so we can actually run the build in time. Okay, and then this is a lot of fuel being compressed actually. We can probably drop this down to 3 or 4 now. Okay, that's good. And then another set of compressors. And then another set of compressors. To drop it down to 3. I think that works. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm not too worried about side balancing because I was talking about it the other day. I think we have a large enough sample size of randomly side loading things that we can probably assume that we have a roughly 50-50 split or like 40 to 60 because even 40 to 60 is fine. And unless we have like a 10 to like 90 split somehow with uneven consumption, I think we're fine. But yeah, I'm gonna guess that random chance makes this fairly balanced. That seems like a reasonable assumption to me. Yeah, I feel like we have this double compressor here. We could probably actually compress this a little bit early and then get rid of this outer layer. I think that's fine because if we're getting rid of one, we might as well do it early. Because yeah, I guess this is the only section where we don't normally have a fuel supplement this close to the other fuel supplement. Actually, you know what? Let's leave it. Well, we don't really have a good way to. We'll decide later. We don't really have a good way to add that many resources later. 1, 2, 3. But this should work. Okay. There we go. And then underground. 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 Oh gosh. I just realized what this is. Okay. Uh Okay, hold on. Minor existential crisis here. As I realize how we have to connect this. So this is a corner we cut. And yep, that's it. This is a corner we cut earlier. Actually, sorry, it's not a corner we cut earlier. It's just we showed that we have to go around it. But now I'm realizing that's a little bit trickier than I would like it to be. So we have a couple options here. One option, if we get rid of this and move it, let's say here, I think things get a lot easier. So if we shift the coal belt up, things are very reasonable. And that lets us get 2 lanes directly through here. If we make them red belt, that's all of them. So then we have one going around, one going straight through. Okay, that is... I think that's fine, right? That doesn't sound terrible to me. Now, we did build this in the wrong layer. Actually, no, we didn't. Okay, so basically we just now have this entire lane shifted. Okay, so how do we do this? I guess if we do it in batches... Uh, okay, we'll figure it out. Okay, let's do. We'll just fix the signal by hand, right? That's the easiest way. Gosh, this is why is this split so weirdly? That's the real question. Okay. You know what? These are all very cheap. I have a solution. It's a very easy solution. It's called moving these all to a lower stage because you know what having them at this stage saves? Like 4 entities early. If we can't afford that belt, I think we have other concerns. Okay. And this is why I mentioned earlier that I didn't want to shift this down to try to save some entities because I was worried that something like this might come up. So that is nice. I'm actually starting to have foresight, which is cool. Realizing if I try to save something later, ooh, it can have consequences. Okay, so now we need to flip this, which is a little bit annoying. But we can do that, right? Wait, can this go straight through here? Is there any issue that can come from this? This should be fine, right? Like I don't think this will cause any problem. It's a little bit weird. I will admit that, but I don't think it's too bad. Time to set up pigeons. Pigeons to deliver the coal would be a pretty great solution. I will admit that. Okay, so this needs to connect here, this needs to connect there. That's not too bad. When you first said that, I was worried I was dropping frames. Like that's just become a euphemism for... Not euphemism, I feel like that specifically is referring to sexual stuff. Does it actually? Is it a generic word too? I feel like it's not. Innuendo. That's innuendo. It's a bit scary to signal. Well, nothing here is automatic, right? So you got to keep in mind there's only ever going to be one train on here. So is signaling a problem if there's only going to be one train that can cross it? Because we have a building train here that will have a signal here, so that way whenever I stop running it, it doesn't block everything else. But this is the only train that will ever be on the network in an automatic way until we get up to here. So this only gets crossed once. Does that make it a little bit less bad? Does that make it that it's something I can ignore at this point? Or does that sound like a reasonable assumption, I guess? $3,000 belts of solid fuel. Honestly, that would be pretty nice. But yeah, I'm making the assumption that signaling won't be an issue because we don't have to signal it. Because this all can be considered one section. Good old, we only need one train, so it can be messy. Hopefully that works. Worst case scenario, there is a way we can flip this train. Yeah, whatever. Let's just flip it now. 3 points, nice. I don't know. I'm scared, and I don't know trains well enough. So we can also just connect around the top. and then it's not a problem. Okay. So now we can just move this down, and we're going to move it in segments this time. Okay. Why was that train line even an issue? I don't know if it is an issue. Or do you mean why did we move it in the first place? Is that more what you meant? We are connecting solid fuel, and this train is just kind of in the way of where the easiest solid fuel connection is. That's all it is. Ooh, this barely clears that. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Never mind. It has plenty of leniency. Not used to the shorter train. That's true. It barely is perfect. It barely clears it, but that means it clears it perfectly. Okay, so this should be able to fit 3 trains. That's all it needs. Okay, that needs to go up 1 more, but I think it's fine. Yeah, it's not it's not working because it's not finished yet. It's fine. That part I'm not concerned with. Okay. Okay, so we clearly broke stuff. Oh, frick. That's too close. I can't put a signal on it. There we go. Yeah, we need to re-signal stuff. There we go. Wait, now... Oh, now it is too small. Not as perfect as I thought. Okay, we have options. We do have options. Okay. We can do this. Okay. And then this can go down a bit. To give us room to put a train here. Okay, I think we're good. Don't do it, that looks worse. I think it looks cool, though. No, I like how it looks. What if we do this? Is that better? Do you like that more? Just move the line going up 1 tile to the left. It didn't have the flexibility to go to the left. Otherwise, that's what we would have done. Nah, but we couldn't branch off any later and still fit within the Roboport. Like, I may make poor decisions, but if they look like this, there's a reason. Which uses more entities. Well, that part's not a concern. But yeah, if we want to fit within the normal Roboport range, this is where the farthest the rail can go. Okay, and then we forgot the double-headed train signal, which is here. You could, if you put the signal down before the second rail, that would have worked perfectly fine. I feel like if your signaling has to do with build order, it doesn't work. Because that doesn't seem like that would copy into bots. I wouldn't trust that. Like, it might work fine, but I don't know. that sketches me out. I know there are some weird things where with bot placement order. In Factorial will work fine. I don't know. Maybe. It might be okay. I don't really gain anything though if it doesn't I don't really best case scenario I gain almost nothing from it. Worst case scenario it breaks the base. These are risks I don't want to take. But there we go. This looks good. It has enough room for all the trains. Okay. That way we don't have to worry about signaling here, so things will look a little bit nicer. I'm gonna replace these. We can get rid of this. Our inventory can fill up, and then we can tell ourselves once again we need to clear our inventory of the junk blueprints. Which, you know, it's never gonna happen. Best case scenario, you get a good design. Worst case, it'll work just fine anyway. Like I said, worst case scenario is it breaks. Because I'm not confident. I don't... Nothing against you, but that is a lot of faith I'm putting in someone saying it'll work fine, right? Like, this isn't something I can test that easily right now. So that's a bit too much faith in it's fine. This is a very important line that I don't want to break. If it was something like just a lot less critical, I would roll with it. But at least we fixed it. Okay, so we compress these into red. So that means this... You know, it does waste a splitter, but honestly, I think it's... Nope, never mind. There's no point to have this being split like that. Okay, that can go up forward. This can compress into 2. And then this can stay as a yellow. Okay, I think everything's good. How many trains do you need to stack on the loop? And could you use the up diagonal for the build train and the yard area of the loop? We could probably... Yeah, we could probably double up on this diagonal. That's a good point. If we shift it over a little bit. Then we probably can straight... Ooh, you're right. We can actually probably straighten that out again now. If we do that. Because this one only needs like 3 trains. So we should be good. So this is your idea, right? So this would be here. This would be here, and this would be here. I think that's fine. Yeah, okay. Good catch. I have very bad spatial awareness, so I appreciate that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we can move this back a little bit too. Although this one doesn't matter. I just want the signal to be a little bit closer. Okay, I think we're good. Because basically I want the ability to hold 2 trains behind and 1 train in front. That's all you really need to be hold. Honestly, 1 behind, 1 in front is good as well. It's basically this is the only 1-4 train we have. But obviously we can use all of this space left and right. So it's one of those things where we have way more space than we normally need here. So we could probably even split this later and save like 12 rails. But at that point, I don't care that much about the rails. But yeah, this is just one of those... We needed a non-standard train length here, and I wasn't gonna worry too much about it, so we just went with the quick design. That's true. Splitting it later would look worse. You're right. I should quit while I'm ahead. It looks good now, and that is important. Despite how much I was pretending it wasn't important, it was. I couldn't pretend it wasn't at least somewhat important. Or how, despite me saying I was okay with it being ugly and consistent, which is true. I liked it, like it to be consistent, but now it's consistent and safe, and it looks good, which is definitely the better option. Okay, can this pass through here? Yes, it can. Excellent. Okay, unfortunately, this compressor happened. Oh, never mind. It happens after this compressor. It doesn't use the new fuel, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's fine. I deleted the water pipe. Yes, I did. Thank you. I actually was gonna move the water pipe, and then I did half of it. There we go. Okay. There we go. Good catch. There we go. Water, water. Okay, and then we reconvene. And voila. Wait, how do we do this? This is going to be a little bit weird. This needs to shift to the left, and then this goes here. Now we split it apart again. So splitter, splitter, splitter? I think this is how it looked. Someone pointed out the other day we can use a splitter in between and de-interlace and split the belt at the same time or something like that. I think that's roughly how it looked. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh gosh, where is it? We definitely did this before, right? Oh, here we go. It goes belt, splitter, belt. We don't need a compressor here. We just need a splitter. Okay, yeah, that looks about right. So we're good here, I think. The one thing we forgot, though, that's why it looked off. The red line cannot go into the yellow splitter. So that's why the idea here is like it's... in theory... ideally, they just all keep going forward. Oh, you mean this one. Never mind. Yeah, okay. I see what you mean. I thought you just meant the idea in general, but no, I just I just put the belt in the wrong spot. You know, I don't want to admit it, but we didn't have to change this at all. And I'm just going to leave that there. I'm just going to leave it at that. No, it did help. I will admit it helped a little bit. It wasn't completely necessary, but we could have just had this one go out, forward, and then back in. Now, our redesign did save probably 20 belts, or 20 rails. Technically, we could have saved those rails on the other one too, but we did save 20 rails. And we did save 4 undergrounds. Most things aren't necessary. I mean, a lot of the things we do have, like, some functionality to them as well, other than just looking nice. Because, like, one of the things about looking nice in this game is it helps so much with debugging. So there is some practicalness to it. So, like, a lot of things we do to try to make them clean solely because I know I'll be connecting something later. And if they weren't clean, connecting them later would be awful. And by clean, I mean not awful. It doesn't need to be clean. My standard for clean is just... looks okay. But yeah, at the end of the day, it does help a little bit. So I think a lot of the cleanliness is necessary, just not completely necessary. I guess it's weird to use necessary and then say, but not actually, though. Important. There we go. That's a better word. It's important, but could be skipped. There we go. I'm okay. I'm happy with that wording. Okay, nice compressor. This is supposed to be a whole belt. Awesome. It's read correctly. Cool. Okay, we don't actually... Ooh, we don't get new fuel for a while. So this is actually a little bit not great. So in the new way that we have this hooked up, we're going to struggle to get enough solid fuel from this. Or we're going to compress like all of our solid fuel into rocket fuel. So what I'm thinking is that we need to make sure this can go backwards. Which isn't a problem. That's very doable. But it is something that I think needs to be done. For the sake of rocket fuel running consistently. I'm just gonna assume this is connected properly. I don't know what it is, but I have no reason to believe it's broken, despite looking very broken, despite looking incredibly broken. Um, but my guess is that it is actually a plastic belt. The world will never know. I mean, they could know if we figured it out, but they don't have to know. Okay, so we need a compressor here, which is trickier to do than I thought it would be. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we compress the other way? Oh, I know what we can do. I know what we can do. Ooh, is it too late? Can we shift everything to the right one tile? Because I just realized this is way farther over than it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be here. Okay, I think technically that works, right? Okay. Okay. So far so good, and then this one can now just go over one tile to the right. Okay, I think that's fine. Yeah, this one I will say, this one is not necessary or important. This one is just me wanting it to look nice. I can't defend this change. One red lane didn't connect. Ah, yes, you are correct. That is not where I expected it to be broken. Thank you for that. Much appreciated as always. I guess we can save those. There we go. Okay. Compress, compress, compress. We need to get all of those now. This still doesn't quite work, but it does work better. No, actually no, it works perfectly. Never mind. We're good. That was worth it. Always am true. Yeah, chat's always right. No matter how much I want to not admit it, they're usually right. Okay, now this part, I think if we do this and this, we're good. Yeah, I think that's the strat. Even if you aren't, they are. Even if you aren't, you are. Fair. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. No, I'll second this. That's very true. Okay, so now we have to do this again. Since when are you doing staggered undergrind for the fuel line instead of parallel? Oh, easy. I built it once like that, and then I just was clicking really quickly here, and then just decided to roll with it. um, it wasn't like oh, what's the word? Um, it wasn't an active decision. It was just kind of it worked out that way, and then I just left it. And it works just as well. I don't think it really has it doesn't really have a disadvantage or an advantage, just kind of there. But it has been kind of nice. It's been a lot easier to connect than I thought it was, that's for sure. I think originally I avoided it on the left side because I thought it would be a lot trickier to set up, but it ended up not being too bad. Okay, so this is the plastic line, right? Yeah, okay. It's weird that one lane of plastic is enough for all of this. I really thought we used more plastic for LDS, but it turns out almost all of our plastic goes into red chips. Okay, now for the tough part. So we're going to do one more lane here. And we're going to do a double compressor. Oof. That's fine. Yeah, it's okay because we're doing a compressor anyway. Yeah, actually that works perfectly. We would have needed a belt. Okay. Very surprised how perfectly that worked out. Okay, so compress. Compress. I think that's what we need to do, right? Yes. Yes, that's good. Perfect. Okay. Think it's good. I missed a prio. Oh, that's like an important one. It would have still worked out, barely, because we actually only need exactly 3/4 of a red belt, which that would have made. But obviously I don't want to make that mistake if I can avoid it. Okay, so now I'm actually going to connect this one to this as well, but we're going to do an input prio from the left. Input prio. What's up with the underground on the right at the lower compressor? This part? Like why the under pipe? Why the underbelt? Why the underground pipe? Lower. Oh. That's easy. I was copy and pasting. Good catch. That means that is probably on most of the compressors. See, this is why we don't do staggered. I should just switch to non-staggered halfway. Oh, we're not finishing this today. I just saw the time. Yeah, okay. Let's connect this one up, and then we'll call it a day here. I think this is a good stopping point. Okay, so this one's a little bit weird. Like I said, I want this to have direct access to solid fuel. So, or to rocket fuel. So we're going to send this to the left. And it's going to be very weird. But that's okay. And then it's got to connect through here. And then underground should be on my side right now. Okay. Okay, not too shabby. And then we can definitely assume this is not having much going through it. So now we can cut it here. And then do a double compressor to turn it into 3. Because best case scenario, we have 3 coming out of this. Because this is going to use a solid 3 belts basically forever. So yeah, we can safely assume that this compresses. And then that can go there. Actually, let's do that farther back. But yeah, the double compressor. So each compressor can only shift a belt of fuel 1 tile, basically. Or it can only shift up to 1 full belt to the left at a time. So we're consuming 2 immediately, so that's why we have the double compressor. Same here, we're trying to shift it from 5 to 3. Although we probably can assume that we don't need the double here, because this probably compressed it enough, but just in case, it's usually worth doing because it's not that expensive. Although I might, UPS wise, I don't know, the compressors might be bad for performance. I don't think compared to like the rest of our base, they're that bad. They sound really bad, but at the end of the day, burner inserters are so awful that like I can't really get that much worse. Right? Like burner inserters are terrible for performance. This isn't too bad at all things considered. It's really my mindset of the run. It could be worse. Okay, so this is tricky. This is very tricky. We're gonna have to sideload here, actually. Yeah, I want to get this connected, and then we'll call it for today. So this is a really good stopping point. Okay, now we need a compressor to end here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's good. This is technically a weird split, but it should be okay. I think we can just do a 50-50 split there, honestly. That's probably... Well, okay, hold up. We're splitting this to the left, and then we have this prioing this one. So I guess the prioing rocket fuel is fine here. Okay, so this sends here, here. Side load. That's good. This one is officially connected. We need another compressor. Except now we want to compress with this one. This is not worth doing. Undergrounds for, okay. And that's good. That's a good stopping point. I think we will not have any trouble running rocket fuel. So worst case scenario, if this is somehow fully consumed, this will send roughly 45% of a red belt. If these are running constantly, this will still be at 45%. Or sorry, not 45%. 45 out of 60. 75%. I should only be allowed to power the burner inserters with wood. If there was a way to automate wood, that would be a fun challenge. Like if we downloaded one of those like greenhouse mods, that could work. Definitely not for this run, since this is purely vanilla. And honestly, like if you chop down 10,000 trees, that only runs my base for like 30 minutes, maybe. Because I consume... So I have 30 belts of solid fuel at peak, but on average I only consume about 5 to 10 of those, excluding power. But that's still like 100 solid fuel per second. Just powering burner inserters. Like, that's not electricity. Yeah, I imagine... I've seen greenhouses in a lot of mods. Like, I think Bob's has it. Obviously, they have some way to produce wood automatically in, like, C block. Okay, but I think I got the prio here right. Okay, cool. So we have a couple... I wanted to finish up the fuel connections today, but I started stream a bit late, so... That's fine. I might stream... I don't know. I'm watching my niece and nephew tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll probably not have a stream, but I might finish up the fuel connections offline. Just because there's only like 30 minutes of work left here. But yeah, likely no stream tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure on the time. They usually come over around like 2 p.m., which is 1 hour into my stream. If it ends up being later, there will be a stream and we'll work on burner designs, but count on not having one. So we'll do space exploration on Sunday instead. You want to see me do a burner only run of K2 and or SE? There's not enough time in the world for that. My SE run is already like 150 hours in. I could not imagine how much time it would take to do that with only burners. K2 maybe. I feel like K2 by itself isn't as long, right? I keep compulsively saving. But yeah, no, I like the idea of it. It would be fun to do for like a couple streams. I definitely wouldn't want to do a whole run that way, but it would be fun for a bit. But yeah, that's it for me today. I'll be back maybe tomorrow, most likely not tomorrow. I'll post on my Discord if I'm streaming tomorrow. Because like I said, I'm not entirely sure on the schedule, but generally speaking, they come over when I stream. Sunday we'll be doing space exploration. Monday we'll be finishing up the I want to call it a randomizer because it uses a bunch of RNG, but it's the reverse Torio. And then more burner stuff next week. But yeah, thanks all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next time. Peace. And no, that is 40 hours if you do a speed run with a ton of blueprints. That is not a good standard. Especially when you're also using burner inserters. By itself, it's usually like 300 hours for the first playthrough. But yeah, technically it can be done faster. But yeah, have a good one.